mom and dad, or mom and mom, maybe dad and dad, parents in general. Are you about to spend 5 hours in the car with your kids this holiday season? You driving to the grandparents' house? You going to be there for a long time? Because I'll set the scene for you. Here's what we're all picturing. Big, long ride like that with the kiddos. There's going to be a meltdown in there, screaming at some point, some fighting. Hours of being forced to play the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack on repeat. Well, when your ears start to bleed, I got the perfect thing to keep you from rolling out of that moving vehicle. And it's something for the whole family. He's filled with laughs. He's filled with rage. The OG Green. Give it up once again. I'm so happy they brought this back. The Grinch, voiced by SNL's James Austin Johnson, in 'Tis the Grinch Holiday Podcast. We have worked with them before, and it's a joyous podcast. The kids love it. It's great for adults, too. It's going to get you through the holiday season, the car rides, times when the kids need something to occupy them. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of insufferable influencers these days. The Grinch is acting like one of them now. He's bringing a whole crew of lesser talented friends along for the ride. But there's A-listers. Gronk. We got Gronk this year on the Grinch podcast. Mark Hamill, one of my heroes. The Jonas Brothers, Jersey's own. There's a little bit of something for everybody. You have got to listen to it. 'Tis the Grinch Holiday Podcast. It's so good. Get it now wherever you get your podcasts.
A mochi moment from Mark, who writes, I just want to thank you for making GLP-1s affordable. What would have been over $1,000 a month is just $99 a month with Mochi. Money shouldn't be a barrier to healthy weight. 3 months in, and I have smaller jeans and a bigger wallet. You're the best. Thanks, Mark. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Mark is a Mochi member compensated for his story.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. For too long, women's serious midlife health issues have been trivialized, ignored, and met with a just deal with it attitude. Many of us have been made to feel ashamed or forgotten. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But here's the powerful truth. It's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI is not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. What sets MIDI apart? We are the only women's telehealth brand covered by major insurance companies, making high-quality, expert care accessible and affordable for all women everywhere. Our clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. We offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions, from hormonal therapies and weight loss protocols to lifestyle coaching and preventive health guidance. This isn't a one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will join our patients who feel seen, heard, and prioritized. You will find that our mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the health care they deserve. Because we believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It's just the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Hello to everybody who has put themselves out there on the airwaves. It's Beautiful Anonymous. 1 hour, one phone call, no names, no holds barred.
I'd rather go one-on-one. I think it'll be more fun, and I'll get to know you, and you'll get to know me.
Hi, everybody. If you're somebody who doesn't love an intro, you're going to want to skip about 8, maybe 8.5 minutes into this one. It'll put you right at the beginning of the call. Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. Chris Gethard here. Welcome to Beautiful Anonymous, a show that I've been saying lately where we look at the human condition one anonymous phone call at a time. That's a nice little tagline for our show, I think. I'm so happy to have you here. Thanks so much to everybody who supports the show. We aren't sure why last week's episode took so long to get up on Apple Podcasts. We're hoping that it's just a blip. That is, of course, the biggest podcast platform in the world. So especially as an independent show these days, it really affects us when the schedule's thrown off there. But it eventually got through. We're hoping it gets back on track. And thanks to everybody who let us know they were having problems with it. We saw it. We did our best. Anyway, want to let you know that I have a couple shows coming up that I think are going to be so much fun and very near and dear to my heart. One is at the Upright Citizens Brigade in New York this week. Sandwich Night is upon us, November 12th, 10 p.m. You can go ahead and you can come on to that show. Sandwich Night is a holiday that I accidentally invented in 2011 and for some reason have celebrated with a cadre of nerds ever since. We're having a comedy show. It's my variety show that I host every month, and we're merging it with Sandwich Night. Come out, bring a sandwich, enjoy it, watch online, ucbcomedy.com for tickets, both in person and streaming. Hang out, watch, relive some of the old Chris Gethard show vibes, which, as you'll hear, is very appropriate considering the topic of this week's show. I also want to let all my friends know that I'll be in Burlington, Vermont, doing stand-up at the Vermont Comedy Club. It's one of my favorite comedy clubs in the country. I'll be there doing 2 shows on November 21st, 2 shows on November 22nd. You can get tickets to all my shows at punchup.live/Chris Gethard. And I'd be so psyched to see some people in Burlington, Vermont. Okay, what else do I need to tell you guys about? I think that's everything as far as all the business goes. Thanks to everybody who listens and supports the show. Thanks to everybody who's been buying T-shirts, even though it's been a legitimately tough part of my existence. How much I go to the post office now and they recoil with horror because when I show up, I'm generally carrying anywhere between 25 and 40 packages, which is crazy to do, and they don't love me for it, but that's okay. And just for anybody wondering if your order hasn't gone out, I still have, as of this recording, 42 unshipped orders to get to. Thank you endlessly for your patience. It's legit just me doing it by myself. There was one day where my friend Jared came by the office, helped me stuff some envelopes, but outside of that, I'm writing every name myself, doing my best, and I think by the end of next week, all of them should be in the mail. So thanks so much to everybody who ordered up those T-shirts at chrisgethard.bigcartel.com, and I hope by plugging it again, you come and buy a T-shirt, even though I know I'm only extending the process of me living at the post office in a way that is horrifying. Okay. This week's episode, I love a couple things about it. One, I talk more than usual. There's 2 reasons for this. One is because our caller is calling while actively at the hairdresser. So there are times where the caller says, hey, there's going to be a hair dryer on for the next 5 minutes. You talk. So some of it I was given permission. Reason number 2, though, this caller shares a passion for something that changed my life, which is public access television. This caller called up, and I was gleeful to realize, the caller said, I discovered your public access show, which we've heard that on Beautiful Anonymous before. We've heard people who knew my work with the old show, and it segued over here, even though they are largely separate fan bases, but we've heard that. This caller's different. Not a comedy fan who found me through the public access show, a public access fan who started working in public access and in doing research on public access shows came to understand my old show. I have to tell you guys, with the power of hindsight, my show was canceled on cable in 2018. I think we probably left public access in 2015 or 16. And I look back and I realize public access television, the most genuinely creative, fruitful environment I've ever been in. It is not necessarily for everyone, but theoretically it is for everyone. And the enabling of my creative brain, my manic ideas, some of the more strange, high-concept stuff I wanted to see on TV that I could not get anyone to put on TV, it wound up there. It was not always perfect, but man, it was beautiful, it was joyous, it was creative, it was fun, and I look back on it, and I'm endlessly proud of what we made as a collective of artists on public access. The only regret I have about the Chris Gethard show is that it's called the Chris Gethard show, because when we started it in 2011 at the UCB Theater, the idea was a talk show where the host interviews guests who he has super personal interactions with. The woman I went on the worst date of my life with, the coolest kid from my high school. It was going to be a very sort of self-obsessed talk show. And as it grew, it became much more of an artist collective of kind of strange comedy ideas and experiments. And the only thing I regret is the name, for a number of reasons. It doesn't honor the other people involved enough, and I also think it puts me under a microscope more than I want. But either way, public access is amazing. My old network, the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, they're out there doing great things right now, providing all sorts of equipment, access to studio space, classes on how to make art, how to make podcasts, how to make TV, how to edit, how to make internet clips, on top of all the stuff we think of with public access television. Our caller today has a background in journalism and has found that public access is a platform not just for their creative ideas, but for their journalistic ideas. And these things tie together. This caller starts collectives. This caller is a big part of bringing artists together and making stuff that communities have a sense that they can trust in. It's awesome. And it allowed me to rant about one of the things I love most in life, which is that, first of all, I think there are people out there with voices, and those voices want to be heard, and there are so many ways that systems in place convince you to not let that voice be heard. Whereas I would argue it's vitally important that you shout that voice, even if no one ever hears it. Find a way to get it out. Do not go to your grave with things left unsaid, with ideas unacted upon. Scratch every itch. And public access allows you to make that happen, and I think that's cool. Secondly, I love hearing that this caller's mobilized. I love hearing that this caller is thinking about community, is thinking about trust in media, is thinking about a merging of news and entertainment that's built from the ground up, that brings people along, that uses real artists and fights back against AI and fights back against censorship. It's so cool. This caller gives me credit as someone who set a bar with public access, and I'm willing to accept that compliment, but I will also say I was doing a pretty goofy comedy show at the end of the day. And there's people out here figuring out how to use institutions like this as part of their ability to stay sane in a world where trust in institutions is corroding. How to connect people in a world that makes us feel more isolated all the time. It's really cool. I'm glad we got to nerd out about it. This caller said maybe 5 people will hear this and sign up to host public access shows. And I said, I hope it's even more than that, and I hope people are willing to make bad art in the pursuit of good art. I really mean it. Enjoy this call. Public access now, public access forever. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for calling Beautiful Anonymous. A beeping noise will indicate when you are on the show with the host.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Is this Chris?
It is.
Of course it is. It's your show.
It is my show.
How are you doing?
I would say in general I'm doing pretty good. A little too busy for my own good right now, and got some private life stuff that I'm navigating. But in general, pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. I am getting my hair washed right now at the hair salon.
Currently?
Yeah, currently. My head is in a porcelain bowl. Not a toilet. Different porcelain bowl.
I'm very sorry to interrupt that, and I hope that we don't throw it off too much.
I think it should be a great time. I'm talking to you through headphones, but I'm hoping they don't electrocute me
That
when
would
this
be
water
bad.
turns back on. But
Yeah, that would be a first.
it would make for a good show.
It would be really bad on my end, though. I'd feel so horrible if you got electrocuted while talking to me.
And it actually wouldn't make for a good show because I bet it would cut our conversation pretty short.
It would. And then I'd still feel honor bound to release it, and I'd wonder forever if you were okay. I would not like that.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm on today, and I wasn't going to let a haircut get in the way of this. So we're making it work.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
Did you
I'm
want to
on
talk about
a
the
lunch
haircut?
break.
Oh,
We can talk about it a little bit. I'm getting something in between, like a bob and a mullet.
Uh-huh.
If you can picture that.
A bullet?
A bullet or a mob. Something along those lines. But we don't have to talk about the haircut.
That's fair. What would you like to talk
We have something
about?
in common.
What's that?
We are both fans of public access TV and community media.
Nice.
That's how I found you. It's through your show on public access.
That's great. And I like that you're an actual public access fan. I am as well. I feel like a lot of the comedy fans that I brought to my show were fans of my show. But I sort of strangely think almost more than anybody else who found public access through me, I'm left being a huge fan of public media. I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. I think it is the future. I think it is the perfect response to, like, the Paramounts and CBSs and all of that. And I don't know, just like we should be empowering and equipping people to create media and making that available to them in their communities, or else everything is going to be AI slop forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you work in media on any level?
I do. I'm a journalist, and I work in community media right now. So I teach people how to do journalism now.
Love
but I used
that.
to be in more of like I used to do like political reporting back in the day. But that ended up being horrible. Horrible.
Why?
I live in America. Yeah, that's about it. I was doing state politics reporting from 2019 to 2023. And those years in particular were rough. We had a pandemic. We had, the election in 2020 and the insurrection. George Floyd was killed during that time in the state that I live in, and another black man was killed by police officers, and there's a lot of unrest in our community. So it's just like 4 really bad years of political reporting, and then I said I can't do this anymore, and then I found community media and public access, and it got me out of there.
And you're fans of it, but do you make public media? Do you make public access stuff?
Yeah, I have a show that I make with my friends. I know this is all anonymous and try not to give away too much. But the premise is that we try other people's hobbies, and we shoot it all on a camcorder, and some of it is like not real hobbies. Like last month we hosted, or in August or September, we hosted a blueberry spitting contest, and that was the hobby. But it's really just about like going out and trying weird things in your community, like in town, I guess. So yeah, that's my public access. Oh, the sink is turning on. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, we're hoping you don't get electrocuted yet. No, I don't hear anything, and I'm just hoping this doesn't lead to any disasters.
I agree.
Because now you've made me nervous.
But yeah, that's the plot of the public access show. And then I do some like civic education shows as well.
Now, I love this. I love that I get to talk to you about this. And it's anytime public access comes up with me, it tends to be people who understand that I had a show there and my show was comedy focused and was very sort of intentionally strange and aggressive. But you're just someone who loves public access. So this is a conversation on Beautiful Anonymous that we can talk. So public access, there's so much to say. And I think it is really important. I think it's more important maybe than it's ever been right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And a couple things I want to say about it is a lot of people hear the phrase public access television, and I think they immediately roll their eyes. They immediately think it's crazy stuff, borderline pornography, weirdos. People think about things like Wayne's World and Bronx Talk from SNL, which are kind of sketches that make fun of public access. And I'll be clear on this. In my experience in New York, which is one of the most free speech public access stations, maybe the most free speech anywhere in the world, there are weirdos and there is borderline pornography and there is a lot of craziness, but there's also community organizing. There's also news covering neighborhoods on a micro level that does not show up in literally any traditional press because the beat is too small. There's people who take camcorders into their communities and are going, here's what's going on with like local community board elections in very specific ethnic enclaves of New York. Let's also be clear, something that I bet you also feel passionately about. A lot of times people don't realize if you have a public access station in your community, I would bet money that not only do they put shows on the air, and it's not just about can you put crazy stuff on the air, but they'll probably give you classes on how to edit, how to shoot, how to set up a studio and light things. They will teach you classes.
Equipment to check out.
Equipment rental. In other words, enabling your voice. And when I see a government that seems very, very intent on backing public media into a corner, you can see the defunding of PBS and NPR. I go, those are really, really vital organizations. These are organizations that carry educational programming, historical documentaries. Like, you got to question what makes somebody go, we want our kids to have less access to educational materials, and we want adults to have less access to Ken Burns documentaries that explain American history. Well, you want an uneducated people at that point. And certain regions of the world, certain regions of the country are so remote. This is, in some places, the only entertainment they get. And also areas where you go, this was how people learned about weather emergencies, tornado warnings, hurricanes coming. You're making people less safe. Yeah, a pandemic. You're making people less safe because for some reason you fear a media powered by the people. Well, guess what's left standing then is public access. And if you can wade through the stereotypes and the craziness, what you will see is a system based purely on free speech and purely on giving the community access to both the means to tell stories and the airwaves to tell them on. And I think that if a government that I view as having some fascist tendencies fears that, that underlines why we need to utilize it and protect it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I am getting up from the sink now. I think you're right. Like, it is, we're losing education and just connection. Like, so much placemaking is done at public access where people, feel connected to their communities. They can see other people that are making weird art like them in their communities. I don't know. I just think especially as we get more and more digital, where else can you go to get like training on like how to use a camera, how to do digital storytelling, how to podcast? Like, obviously that is the direction our media is going in, but public access is the most accessible way to learn how to do those things and get those tools and have a place to publish it and build an audience. To me, I try and pitch it to my friends like a hyper-local YouTube. Like, what if all of the people that are creating things, because there are thousands of them, put it on our public access channel, and you could just, if you don't have cable, we do all of the apps, and you could just log in and see what creative people in our town are making. I think that'd be so cool. I wish it didn't feel like an outdated concept or like so Wayne's World-y, because I do think that's how a lot of people picture it, but it is not. It's so much cooler than that. I feel like I work at a media summer camp.
I love it.
So much joy.
Now, I imagine you must be in a city if it has like a vital, thriving public access system.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't hear that. I was saying yes to having the hair dryer go in a second.
I was saying, I imagine you must live in a city if you have a sort of vital public access system. Most of the really badass ones are in cities.
Yeah. I do live in a city, not a huge one. Probably not in the top 30 biggest cities in the country. So it's not a huge city. Yeah, a lot of times when there's like smaller, is the blow dryer bothering you?
No, you're great.
Okay, cool. A lot of times when there's smaller public access stations or like in communities, smaller communities, I guess, I've noticed that they're mostly just focused on government and covering like public city meetings, which also crucial, but less public involvement.
Maybe high school sports. This is where a lot of towns you'll see that the high school kids produce like a high school news program, and it's that and the town council meeting and then a rotating video screen that shows you things like road closures or upcoming parades, civic stuff. That's your public access. If you have like a town TV station, that's your public access station, if you're listening.
And I think the last number I saw, there's like 1,500 community media centers across the country. So, I mean, like most communities, that's a lot of communities. You might have them pretty close to you. If you're interested, listening and interested in getting involved.
Now you're a little hard to hear.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's the blow dryer.
That's okay. That's
Hold on.
okay. This is real life stuff. We can wait till you're done.
Are you sure? Do you want to talk to me I think it's going to take 5 minutes to finish. If you want to tell me your favorite public access. I did see a video of you the other day talking about public access and talking about the show that came on after yours. But what is your favorite public access, like, crazy story?
Oh, we have to put... What's my favorite crazy public access thing? I could honestly talk unbroken for 4 hours and not run out of crazy public access stories. But you'll hear some of the ones that come to mind as I shoot from the hip when we come back. I am so happy to tell you about my skylight. We got to talk about the skylight frame. It's really incredible. We got to remember, sometimes really small things make a huge difference. A family photo, a memory. These are things that can make people feel close to each other even when they're physically far away. Now, imagine that you give a skylight frame to a loved one who lives far away. And maybe you've got a kiddo running around. Maybe grandma and grandpa still live across the country where you grew up, but you can load on pictures of the skylight frame that's sitting on their mantle, and these pictures pop up and surprise them, and they get to feel that joy They get to feel like it's magic, like they're living those memories in the moment. It's awesome. With the gift of a skylight frame, you can send photos right to family members' frames from your phone in seconds. You don't need an app, no subscription required. It's a simple way to pop in and stay connected with the people you love. Skylight Frame is the easiest, sweetest way to share photos instantly with your favorite people. Setup takes less than 1 minute. Anyone can send photos via the free app or email, and they show up right on the frame's HD touchscreen. With 2 frame sizes and 5 styles, it fits beautifully in any room. Just ask their over 1 million happy customers who have one. Skylight is the top-rated digital photo frame on the market and the perfect holiday gift this season. Skylight Frame is no joke. It's easy to set up. If you're not happy with it, you can return it within 4 months for a full refund, no questions asked. If there's any technical issues within the first 3 years, they'll replace it free of charge. Find out why the Today Show, The Wall Street Journal, HuffPost, and Tom's Guide all recommend the Skylight Frame. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $20 off their 10-inch frames by going to myskylight.com/beautiful. Go to myskylight.com/beautiful for $20 off your 10-inch frame. That's myskylight.com/beautiful. You're out there, you started a business, you're doing it, it's awesome. And you sort of theoretically knew you would be the head of everything, but the reality of that is setting in. It's a lot. You're doing marketing, customer service, you're figuring out IT. You have so many aspects of this where there's no support staff. At some point, doing it all becomes the reason nothing gets done. Stop doing everything. Get that support you need. Instead of spending weeks sorting through random resumes, Upwork Business Plus sends a curated short list of expert talent to your inbox in hours. Trusted, top-rated freelancers vetted for skills and reliability and rehired by businesses like yours. If you are overextended and understaffed, Upwork Business Plus helps you bring in top-quality freelancers fast. Get instant access to the top 1% of talent on Upwork in marketing, design, AI, and more. Ready to jump in? They're ready to take work off your plate. Use Upwork Business Plus. Take that hassle out of hiring. Take the pressure off your team by getting trusted freelance talent dropped right into your lap. That way you're not stuck spinning your wheels. You're not stuck doing 5 jobs that you are figuring out on the fly. Get a skilled pro. Make sure that your projects and your business don't stall out. Sometimes finding talent can feel impossible. It's really easy to default to putting too much on your own shoulders. That hurts your home life. That hurts your ability to relax. Upwork Business Plus is out here ready to help. They source, vet, and shortlist proven experts so you can stop doing it all and delegate with confidence. Upwork Business Plus doesn't just help you find quality freelancers, it handpicks the best so you can focus on scaling and let pros on Upwork handle the rest. Right now, when you spend $1,000 on Upwork Business Plus, you'll get $500 in credit. Go to upwork.com/save right now and claim the offer before December 31st, 2025. Again, that's upwork.com/SAVE. Scale smarter with top talent. You'll get $500 in credit. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks again to the advertisers who help our show happen. Now let's get back to the phone call.
But what is your favorite public access, crazy story?
I mean, there are so many. First of all, little known fact about me, but this is true, is I was, due to my involvement at the New York Public Access Station, almost no one knows this. I have not spoken publicly about this very much. I was sued by another public access producer in New York. And the court case that came about from that wound up going to the United States Supreme Court. And
whoa.
Yeah, and my name was removed from it pretty early in the proceedings.
Okay.
But Andrea, maybe you could look it up right now. If you do Manhattan Neighborhood Network Supreme Court case, I believe it comes up Halleck versus Manhattan Neighborhood Network. This is the court case that was what allowed Twitter to briefly remove Donald Trump from their platform. That was because of me.
Wow.
And no one knows this. And I'm not overreaching too much to say this. there was a situation where I hosted presidential election coverage for the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and they bumped another producer. And this was a guy who really didn't like me. And he sued me and Manhattan Neighborhood Network and said that his right to free speech had been infringed upon because they bumped him for my coverage of the election. The ACLU got behind it and was like, you know, public access station is public access. You can't kick people out. And they were like, well, we're also a private entity and we program the airwaves and we have to be able to decide when and where that happens. And I was kind of conflicted about how I felt about it, but eventually it's listed as Manhattan Community Access Corp versus Halleck. And Dee Dee Halleck's name was put on it, and Dee Dee Halleck is someone I respect immensely. My guess is that they made Dee Dee Halleck the public face of it instead of the guy who originally sued me because he was kind of nutters. I'm not trying to be too judgmental, but he was a little out there. And the same rules that they said of like you can kick someone out of a public access studio, you can kick them. It's not an infringement on their First Amendment. It also applied to social media, and it was weird for me to realize that. I think like most of the justices I like voted against me, so that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, so you losing that suit means that
I won the suit.
That is what got Trump.
But
you won it.
My side won it, but I don't. It is something that does say that public access can be regulated. Even so, like one of the things I loved about public access, I won an award, the Hometown Media Awards, which is sort of like the public access Emmys. My show won a couple, which was cool.
Yeah.
And one of the head honchos of the Manhattan Neighborhood Network came to a taping of our show and was like, "Oh, we're so psyched about it. Makes us look good. Hope you feel good." And he's like, "And I hear your show is pretty cool." And I was sitting there being cocky. I'm like, I don't know. We won the awards. Like we're getting like press. We're like this hot show. So I'm kind of like, oh, you haven't watched. And he goes, actually, by the mandate of the network, I'm required not to watch our programming, even though I'm one of the people in charge, because I have the ability to pull stuff and censor things. So rather than risk my personal sensibilities or opinions leading me to censor something, we don't watch. We only watch. Those of us who can censor anything on this network, we only go and look if we get a complaint from the community about something that's been aired. Until someone complains, we don't watch, because what if I see it and don't like it and want it gone? And I'm like, this is the ultimate free speech entity right here. And the court case did adjust that. It did adjust that level of just totally unrestricted free speech. Because we could say, like, there was a show that followed mine that was just footage of people fist fighting in parking lots and then close-ups on women's genitalia. It was called Sub-Zero TV. It was wild shit. There was a show where an active member of the Latin Kings in New York City had a show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network when I did, and he was banned from the studio because he threatened a staff member, but he would come drop off tapes and they'd still air his show. And I was like, I figure if you like threaten to hurt or kill someone, you don't get to have a show. They were like, no, we don't care. Like, you can't come in here. We don't feel safe. We don't feel safe, but you still get airwaves. You still get access to the airwaves. Like, you could threaten to kill staff members there. They would still give you a TV show. I mean, the level of crazy stuff that I saw. Vinny Vella's show was really great. And almost definitely was just him. He was a character actor who appeared in a bunch of mafia movies, and his show appeared to be him sitting around with a bunch of mob associates, like real New York mob associates, and women who, I'm not making any assumptions, but they appeared to be sex workers hired to be there on camera, fawning over these older mafia vibe men. Like, there was weird. There was a lot of crazy stuff on there. Show? It was a talk show, kind of like a panel discussion, just him sitting around. One of our favorite shows, we found out that there was a show that had been on for about 30 years. And when it started, the guy in charge of it would talk about local boxing, like boxing gyms, boxing matches. Here's what's going on in the boxing scene. But then he got bored of that over time. So then for a while he turned it into just a soap opera, and then he got bored of a soap opera. And by the time we were there, it was like an epic space adventure, like a Star Wars Battlestar Galactica style thing. But then it would be like once he gets bored of that, he might go and make it a show trying to, cover what's going on in European football. And then after that, maybe he'd turn it into like a murder mystery. And he was just this kind of like manic. I mean, and they all hated me. A lot of these real like fringier public access people, they viewed me as like a Hollywood interloper. And I understood their point, but I don't think they realized that I had real passion and dedication for public access and what it stood for. But they would sometimes send out emails with like 200 people on the email thread saying like, Chris Gethard is a Hollywood interloper and his Jewish agents are boxing out everybody else at MNN. And it would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And sometimes they'd all start clowning on me on these threads with like 100 people on them. And I'd have to reply all and be like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm on here. And like, I get you don't like me, but like if you're going to say anything, you should just know they put me on here. And then like 70 people would write back and be like, take me off this crazy ass email chain. And one of the women, I never forgot, she put out an email that was like, Chris, I just don't understand what comedy has to do with the culture of New York. And I wrote back and I was like, look, like I get it. My show's a little weird, but like the first stand-up clubs in the world were in New York. Like the best stand-up clubs still are. So many movements in comedy. I think
Saturday Night Live.
So many of the late night shows. So much of the comedic theater in this country, waves of it through New York. I think New York and comedy are tied together. I go, either way, my show has a right to exist. Like, I don't know what your show has to do with the culture of New York, but I think it has a right to exist. And I linked to a clip of her show where, I'm not kidding, she was interviewing an admitted and unapologetic pedophile about his ability to travel between dimensions and talk to angels. And I'm like, if you want to talk to a pedophile about, like, if you want to talk to a pedophile who won't apologize for it about talking to angels and traveling between dimensions, like, I don't get it. But I'm not going to send out an email to 100 people and say that you shouldn't be on this network, because of course you should be on this network. Everyone has a right to share airwaves. Everyone has a right to make their voice heard. I don't know what you're talking about there, but go for it. But also don't clown my comedy show, because if we're going to start comparing what has a right to exist, I think more people are going to vote for me than you. But like, I'm not the one creating this binary that you're creating. So I had a lot of run-ins with like the real fringiest of the fringe New York public access people.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of drama in big city public access.
There can be. I think there's less now than there used to be, which I think is probably a really good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say that we have as much drama. We have had some fun shows. My favorite show that we have is two people who dress up as cats, and they just kind of like huddle.
Wait, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. I want to make sure I hear, because you sound a little bit underwater. I don't know if you can move your mic, but it sounds like you have a show where people dress as cats.
Yeah. Wait, can you hear me better now?
So much better. I need to hear about this cats underwater show. I need to hear about this. This is my dream conversation.
No, I want to tell you more details, but I don't know if I can.
Got it.
We have in town this apartment that is shaped and styled in it's just really gaudy, and people love it and they hate it. And that is where these producers live, I think. I don't know for sure. I've never met them.
The cat people?
But they dress up as cats. Yeah.
Love this.
And they just cuddle. And that's the entire show.
Beautiful.
It's just cat cuddling content, but it's humans. Yeah, we've also had a puppet show, but it was male genitalia as the puppet.
Yes.
So that is public access through and through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have the same policy. We don't watch anything before we air it. Just so that we don't give priority, I guess.
No
and it's
censorship.
time-consuming, and we're going to air it anyway.
Yeah,
So.
no censorship. It's not the point. Get it out there. Obscenity is defined by a community's opinion. So if the community calls, we'll look into it. But otherwise, why would we watch it?
Yeah. Yeah, even recently. So one of the shows that I do that's civic education, I will interview the mayor or city commissioners every month. And
Love that.
we recently started getting some questions that are a little we're always getting heated questions, but definitely just putting these electeds in a spot where they have to answer.
Wait, what's that? Move your mouth again. Whatever happened with your mic is happening again.
Oh no! Can you hear me now?
It's a little better, I think.
No. Yeah, not a little better. All right. I should say I'm using my hairstylist is wonderful and gave me her headphones, but they are falling apart wire by wire. But I am so close. The haircut is looking great. We're almost at the end.
Half bob, half mullet.
Wrapping up the bangs. Half bob, half mullet.
You sound great right now.
Kind of. Is that? Okay, great. Yeah. But yeah, we have this show, and it's an hour long, and the last 30 minutes are dedicated to questions from the public, and they just write in and ask questions. And the way our city commission works is that commissioners don't have to answer questions during public comment at meetings. So people use this as their opportunity to get their questions answered directly. And we recently started having conversations about filtering those questions because sometimes the point of a lot of those questions is to get elected to answer questions they don't want to answer. But because of what we try to do with public access, we don't filter questions at all. I usually read them verbatim, and sometimes that can be kind of awkward to do on air. But yeah, it is whether you're a producer or a viewer, contributor, the whole platform is about free speech and just not getting in the way of people having their to share their creativity or to get their thoughts out there or their opinions, concerns, whatever. There's just, I want to say that just aren't that many places, but there are because of the internet. But the internet is it's too big. It's too vitriolic. I know people want to still connect in the same way that the internet can do for us. But I just know people want to get off. They want to stop scrolling. They want to connect with real people who live by them and like the same things as them. And I just think that public access, I just think it's the answer to that. I want to make it cool. How do we make public access cool again, Chris?
I briefly did from 2011 to 2014. I don't give myself credit on many things in life, but I briefly made public access cool. And I have to say, there are certainly some other shows, like my friend Brett Davis took over our time slot and had a great show for a couple of years. But I was a little surprised that comedy didn't spread because comedians didn't flock to it, if only because the level of equipment, studios, the things that they provide for free at public access, you couldn't hope to afford as an independent, paying your own rent artist. I've always been a little shocked that what I cracked open on public access kind of closed back up again, at least in the New York comedy community. I was always hoping it would become a bit of a hub, but it hasn't. But I think right now, and I need to keep shouting it to the hilltops, they want independent media to go away. and they want public funded media to go away, and that is the number one reason to protect it. And public access will be the last one standing because they feel less of a threat from it. But you worked in journalism and you teach journalism. Those jobs are going away at a record pace. And the people buying media companies now have agendas and are narrowing the focus of what they want written and spoken about. So we need independent voices more than we've ever had them. I think, honestly, in my lifetime.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my tape.
That's okay. I'll also say this, and I'm going to say something that's going to sound nuts, but I really believe it about public access, is this is not me trying to have a liberal agenda. Independent media applies to everybody in America. It's one of the enshrined things in the Bill of Rights that's really under threat right now. And I want to be clear. There are people on public access television saying things so wild that I would be disgusted and turn off the TV, and I would reserve the right to turn off the TV, but I do not reserve the right to stop them from going on TV, which sounds nuts. But like, there's definitely people on public access stations all over this country offering up conspiracy theories. Alex Jones started on public access, and I think Alex Jones has a right to be on public access as much as anybody, as much as I do. There's people out there who are probably unapologetic neo-Nazis on public access. I don't think that's cool, but I think it has a right to exist in a pure free speech way. And I think that the more people that use it to get their stories out, get their voices out, the more that the actual stories rooted in compassion, sanity, community, getting people to connect and move forward instead of moving backwards, getting people to lift each other up instead of pulling each other down like a crab in a bucket, those stories will naturally win. They will, in an ecosystem where all things are presented equally. I really do think that the righteousness tends to win with regular people. So I'm not trying to push a liberal agenda. I actually think that there's so much nuts conservative stuff on public access too. And while I vehemently disagree with everything being stated, I think its existence is also great. But I also think that the more people with positive agendas, with forward-thinking agendas, actually find ways to get their stories into the world, those stories win. They attract more attention, more viewers, more momentum.
Totally. I'm walking home now. The haircut is complete. It looks
nice.
Great.
I can stop ranting so much, and you can have the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to tell you a little bit more, like, the kind of journalism that I do now.
Yeah.
Because it's really inspired by the public access side of it. So community media centers, I think they look different everywhere. But the way that it looks in my town is we have public access TV, community-powered radio, and then we have community-powered news. So our newsroom has I think we're at 50 contributers. No, we're closer to 80, actually.
On a public access
network? We have 80 people around the... Well, not the public access TV station, but the news side of it. So we have a news website. But it's all just regular people. I think maybe one or two have backgrounds in journalism. Some are retired professors. A lot are service industry people that know about what's going on and like to write and need some extra money. We just take people from all around the community with the understanding that there's no guidelines for what makes you a journalist. You have to agree to be honest and fair and accurate to the best of your ability. But beyond that, you don't need a degree. You don't need to have a certain amount of clips. As long as you, can agree to, like, tell the most accurate story, and you can decently write or be edited into a decent writer, you can do journalism. So that is, like, the ethos that we kind of go by. But yeah, it has, like, created an entirely new gig economy in our town. We also pay artists to illustrate the news or turn them into zines.
I love this.
It has just created a whole new, way to upskill people in our community, way to get them, because I'm home now. My goal is to have my city be on one of those lists that is like top 5 civically engaged cities in the U.S. Like, I want my city to be number 1.
Yes.
And I want to do it through teaching people how to consume media better by learning how to produce it. And it's working. Like, the people love it. The people specifically love this newsroom because they have a friend that writes for it, or they know that, like, we don't do AI art. We know that we're going to pay someone from town to draw something instead of asking ChatGPT to do a bad version of it. And people see that authenticity, and I think it's just, like, there's nowhere else in big media where authenticity exists right now. Not in a real way, but public access and community media, it's in the name. There's no way to fake it.
Can I ask, you say you're paying all these artists, you have 80 people who contribute. How do you monetize it? How do you generate money? Speaking of begging and making money, we have ads on this show. That's how we make money, on top of a lot of begging. So we're going to check out those advertisers, and we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack and hydration sponsor. IQ Bar is the better-for-you plant protein-based snack made with brain-boosting nutrients to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger without the sugar crash. I am a massive fan. It's only getting more pronounced. It's the best. I just got my ultimate sampler pack in the mail, and that is a great way to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ Bars, 8 IQ Mix Sticks, and 4 IQ Joe Sticks. All of these products are free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial sweeteners. All are packed with clean, delicious ingredients that keep you physically and mentally fit, like magnesium, lion's mane, adaptogens, and more. Those plant protein bars, the IQ Bars, what an incredible choice. They got a new gingerbread flavor for the season. There's more fiber, less sugar, less carbs than the alternatives. IQ Mix, I am strangely obsessed with. It's a zero sugar drink mix that hydrates with electrolytes, improves your mood, boosts your clarity. And IQ Joe, they just put out a peppermint mocha flavor for the season. My wife, she opened it up, and I was in the shower, and she kicked open the bathroom door and started jumping up and down with joy that we had IQ Joe coffee sticks in the house. They've got 200 milligrams of natural caffeine, 4 different flavors that are better than brewed coffee, and there's plenty of flavor combos to choose from across all IQ Bar products, from mint chocolate chip protein bars to blueberry pomegranate hydration mixes to toasted hazelnut coffee, and even limited edition and seasonal flavors. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. Their ultimate sampler pack includes all 3. You have heard it from me. The IQ Mix, first of all, stock up on it right now. There's nothing better to have on hand in the house during cold and flu season. Stay hydrated. Keep everything running full steam. It got me through flu season last year. And as I mentioned, IQ Joe is my wife's favorite thing. The peppermint mocha she lost her mind for. She's been singing and dancing every morning while she makes it. It's adorable. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including that sampler pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text BEAUTIFUL to 64,000. Text BEAUTIFUL to 64000. That's beautiful to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Cold mornings, holiday plans. This is when I just want my wardrobe to be simple. Stuff that looks sharp, feels good, and things I'll actually wear. For me, that's Quince. And the bonus, let's keep in mind it's the holiday season, and Quince pieces make great gifts too. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury, wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable. Their denim nails the fit and everyday comfort, all at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands, so you can give luxury quality pieces without the luxury price tag. I'm going to tell you, just this morning, this is huge news. I took a big swing, went on Quince, ordered myself a corduroy jacket. It looks cool as heck. I cannot wait for it to arrive. I am going to wear it. I am going to feel good. I am certain I am going to get compliments that I look good. And I can't wait to report back to all of you listeners about when that happens, because every time I wear something from Quince, it's what happens. It always shows up. I'm like, man, I like this even better than when I ordered it. And then when I wear it around, people are like, yo, looking good every time. This corduroy jacket's going to be a game changer. Give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/beautiful for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/beautiful. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/beautiful. Thanks again so much to all of our advertisers. Now let's finish the phone call. Can I ask, you say you're paying all these artists, you have 80 people who contribute. How do you monetize it? How do you generate money?
By begging.
Donations?
Mostly.
Donations, Patreon, merch. Is this the type of things that we use?
Yeah, we do merch. For our community media center, we have memberships to use our equipment. So some of that goes to fund some of it, but a lot of it is grant funding. We're nonprofit, so a lot of it's grant funding. Most of it is donations, and then every once in a while we can sell underwriting. But that's my job now, is to figure out the funding side of a newsroom. So yeah, I'm in a weird learning phase because I know journalism, and I'm really passionate about it. But now I have to figure out the funding of journalism, which is not what I've been trained on. But cool to figure out. It's going to be possible.
I love it. And I'm with you. And I do think we are in a sad state of affairs where the phrase fake news has been shouted to the hilltops for, 10 years now. It's damaged people's trust in the media. Then on top of it, newsrooms are shrinking. Local news is shrinking. AI is showing up. Corporations and conglomerates with agendas are buying long-standing, decades, sometimes centuries-old newspapers. People have less trust in the news, sometimes for reasons that seem valid, sometimes because we made a political game of encouraging people to distrust the news. So to hear that you're going, we're effectively building a community-focused news organization from the ground up where people can visibly understand how it runs and they know the people who work on it or are only a few tangential steps away, that you can play 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and they have a fundamental trust in the individuals whose names are a part of this. I do think this is a very necessary and valid way to rebuild trust in the news, to say make it grassroots and community. It's the same reason that Substack and similar platforms are becoming so big right now, where you go, I don't know if I trust a corporate entity, but if this individual journalist is using this as a way to get their thoughts out there, I trust this individual journalist. And that's why Substack, I think, has become really huge amongst journalists who used to work at legacy organizations, but they as individuals still maintain a healthy level of trust with the people who follow them. We have to rebuild from the trust, from the ground up. And you're doing it. I need to be clear to everyone listening. Mm-hmm. Like, you're out here not just complaining, not just pointing at the problem. You're looking to build an infrastructure for a solution. And if you figure shit out, there's probably other artists collectives, other journalism collectives, other community media collectives that are going to see what you do and be able to add it into their infrastructure and vice versa. And that might just be how we get this country to start acting a little more sane again. It's people like you.
Totally. And I mean, I can't take credit for it at all. I'm tapping people from like all over the country that are doing similar work, but I do think it is the future of local news. Because, yeah, I mean, my town has only it has like one legacy newspaper that everything is paywalled behind. And other than that, it's just like spot reporting when statewide coverage wants to cover. I keep saying town, but I should say it's a city. It is a city. But we're not a big city. And so we just don't get covered enough. And it is just it's just obvious when we can dedicate time because we don't care about deadlines or beating anyone else. A lot of times we're the only people at meetings, like public city meetings. So sometimes we're the only ones who know. But you can just tell the community response to like, I don't know, like one of our biggest stories this week was just mapping out all the food drives around town during the SNAP freeze. And like that is what people want from their local news. They don't want crime reports behind a paywall, or they want to see how they can get involved. Like local news has a major role in placemaking and community building, just as much as it does to inform community, but to bring people in and make them feel like they belong, I think is also a role of local news that we don't always do, because belonging headlines don't get people to click all the time, even though I argue that they do. Or like, I don't know, it's just, those probably aren't the biggest traffic drivers, but anecdotally I hear that that's what people want. And we host listening sessions around the city to like sit down with people and say like, what is missing from your local news coverage? And then we go back and then that's our priorities for the next couple months.
I love it. Do you get a sense of who the audience that's finding you is, audience growth, how they slot you in? Like, when people find you, do you become their sole source of news? Do they slot you in next to the larger legacy papers in your area? Do you get a sense of the community that you're building?
Ideally, people will never be able to get all of their news from one place. Like, I like the idea that we fill in a gap that maybe the other legacy outlets don't have the time or capacity to do, but we do. And we kind of help each other in that way. Like, I don't mean to dog on the other outlets, because I'm not going to start writing about crime or traffic or new businesses opening up. But I'm so glad that it is, like, there's a record of it, I guess. I think it could be done differently sometimes. But so that's kind of my answer about, like, are we replacing news for anyone? I hope not. I hope that people are just thinking a like more holistic approach of how they find news and where they get it from. But I don't know, our audience is very local. It is a majority women, according to like website analytics. Majority women and majority ages 25 No, 18 to 40 is...
So similar demographic to the Beautiful
demographic.
Anonymous podcast.
Love that. Yeah. These are people that like to be engaged. But yeah, that is also part of, I'm talking about making public access cool, but I really think about how to make news cool. And that's why I wanted to bring an artist. I want to make it look like something that you want to share and tell people about. And you got to make it cool to bring the people in.
But I will tell you, this podcast taught me, and I feel like this is something that's harder to see in the moment, but from the long view, I think will prove itself, is that in the early 21st century, my guess is historians will look at it and say many political movements started when the exact group you just described, women in the age group of 18 to 40, felt overlooked, unseen, and decided to mobilize and affect change. This has been a big part.
Wait, you're telling me that you don't think society sees women 18 to 40?
Well, I think
just kidding.
I think I'm glad to hear you're kidding, because I think that is a very, very specific group that when they get fed up in this recent times, you can see, look at the legendary blue wave of Congress in 2018 and how many of those candidates were women who got fed up with their political representation and said, screw it, I'm going to run.
Yep.
And look at how many social movements, street-level social movements, have been driven by women leadership in recent times. Look at you saying, you know, when you think in general of like, hey, we've started a news collective, we're presenting it in a way that looks more like a fanzine. We're looking for artists. We're trying to make it cool. We're trying to keep it independent and underground. You're describing something that historically people would go, okay, that's for like Greenwich Village coffee house radicals. You know, like that's for radicals. No. It's for working moms. It's for people who give a shit about the environment. It's for people who are raising kids at home and are the ones actually sitting there going through the bills going, this does not add up and it's not going to end well. Something needs to change. And it's women who were held back from equality and being an equal part of the workforce forever, who maybe now have had enough time in there to carve out a space that they go, and now we're also going to be the ones that change everything because everybody else has been fucking it up for too long. So I am not shocked to hear, as someone who has had this job for over 9 years, because it initially clearly established itself as, in a way nobody saw coming, least of all me, of like a lot of women want a place to air out their feelings for real without apologizing. And that's the core of this show. It sounds like it's the same core of your newsroom, that when regular average women who are in the workforce age get pissed off, they don't sit around and wait. In these modern times, those women are the one who go out and go, hold the fucking phone, things have to change. And I'm inspired by that in a big way.
Me too. And organizations like the one I work for and so many others also like need to make very intentional space for women to be angry and to create, because like I told you about our readers, but that isn't necessarily the demographics of the people who contribute. And it should be. But as a woman in that age group, I know that it's harder to just feel like you have something to say without being asked to contribute it. And that's what public access calls on people to do. For you to take the initiative, to trust in your creativity, to trust in your ideas, to trust in like what you have to share, and then go make with your hands what you dream up, you know? And I think women should still be encouraged, or more so encouraged, to do that. Because, like you said, a lot of times women are the ones who are leading these social changes. Like, that pink wave in 2018, Me Too in 2016. But there has to be very intentional spaces. And I could go on a whole other tangent about intentional spaces and like the buzzwordification of community and how some people just want big friend groups. But that's a whole other tangent. But yeah, I think making intentional space for women to share and create, there still needs to be more done there.
Absolutely. And I'll also say there needs to be more space created for minority voices. There needs to be more space created for immigrant voices. There needs to be more space for marginalized groups of all stripes to have more space to speak. And I also want to go on record and say that's not DEI. That's not trying to say, in whatever way that is demonized, this is not an effort to say that needs to come at the expense of the status quo. It needs to come in addition to the status quo. And if you are threatened by that, you have to ask yourself why. If you think more voices means the extinguishing of the dominant voice, you have to ask yourself, why are you so insecure that the dominant voice cannot survive when given the competition for oxygen from other types of voices? It's not about rigging the playing field. It's about sharing the playing field. I wouldn't even say it's about evening the playing field. It's just about sharing the oxygen in the room. So all this nonsense where people have been like, oh, DEI, it's like, it's not this implication that DEI was something that came into existence to demonize white voices or demonize male perspectives. You go, are you so insecure? Are you so insecure that you can't coexist with more voices in the room? And can you not admit that historically groups that, why do women need to have that space created for them intentionally? I don't know. Maybe because for a large portion of my mother's lifetime, she wasn't allowed to have her own credit card. Like, you can't see how that is a societal setback. That's my mom. My mom's still alive. I talk to my mom all the time. My mom's not shouting. My mom, if she hears this, will be like, don't put words in my mouth. I'm not. I'm just saying, like my neighbors across the street are old enough that they weren't allowed to have credit cards within their lifetime. That's fucked up. You don't think we have to? Yeah. You don't think we have to say we really need to make an active effort to allow voices to have equal footing when within our lifetime they actively didn't? If you can't look at it and say like, oh, why are we so worried about LGBTQ voices? I don't know, maybe because there's a Supreme Court case right now trying to reverse gay people's right to be married. Like, if you don't see that there's battles being fought, and those battles take time and energy, and that it's exhausting, and that therefore you need to be intentional with creating the space for those voices because that exhaustion is real and could extinguish the voice. I think you're just being willfully obtuse, if not outright ignorant.
Yep.
I love getting to shout about this stuff with you.
Me too, because this is great. I knew it. It was your public access show that I was introduced to you. When I first started working for public access, that's when I was like introduced to public access. And I just did deep dives on YouTube. And that's when I found Chris Gethard's show. And I was like, this is it. This is this is the future.
Well,
And
now
the past.
it's
But-
funny because now it's 7-8 years in the past, but I actually think there's a great show right now called Going Down with Ella Yerman. I think that's the future.
Yeah.
That's some friends of mine who have a trans-centered talk show, sort of a daily show from a trans perspective. It's really fucking smart and funny. If you like comedy, you're going to like it. And if you've never met a trans person, I would say go sit down and watch it and see unapologetic and at times angry voices, but also really fucking funny. Respect the jokes. Suck it up. I think there's so much good. There's so much good happening at any given time on public access, and I'm so glad you're one of the people pushing it forward.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for inspiring the work.
I did my part. I tried to do my part.
You did enough. You got something rolling, or at least inspired the work that I do states away. So your impact was much larger than MNN. And MNN, yeah?
MNN, the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, but also I would respectfully argue against that. They kicked things off. New York Public Access established the existence of public access, and I definitely ate at the table they set for a while. And I think they're still doing great things, and I'm happy to still be involved with them to some degree.
Was your hometown media award through the Alliance for Community Media?
I believe so. Yeah, that rings a bell. It's been a little while since You'll be shocked to hear I don't sit and stare at my own awards given to me in 2015 for my public access show, but I believe that is the organization that hands them out.
That I've gotten one of those for my shows too. So
Sick.
we're in the same Hall of Fame.
That's a good
Yeah.
feeling, right?
It is a good feeling. It's really nice. Yeah, that one was for a radio program I made. Yeah.
And let's be clear, like I know MNN right now, they have TV studios, TV equipment. They also have audio podcasting studios. They have video podcasting studios. They have editing bays. And I think a lot of if you're somebody out there that's like, man, I want to start my own podcast, but I don't know what equipment to buy. If you have a public access studio in your town, they might have everything you need sitting there for free and someone who can sit there and teach you how to use every aspect of it. That might be sitting there right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's 1,500 of these things across the country. There's probably one near you.
Yeah. How many people do you think we can convince right now to go sign up to make public access TV shows?
I think 5. I think at least 5. I think there are 5 people that will do a very dedicated, great show on public access.
I would love that. I would love that. And also, I want to also encourage everybody out there, make bad art. Get it out of the way.
So bad.
Most of the things most people make are bad. And you hear about the good ones because those are the ones that explode and spread. But be willing to make bad art because it's worth it due to the slim possibility that you might accidentally make some great art. Be willing to make bad art. Do not fear failure. Don't let that be the thing that stops you. It's gonna happen.
And like, of all the places to make bad art, public access is the place to do it.
Absolutely.
It's the place.
Absolutely. I also just realized our clock ran out. I have no idea when.
Oh.
I love it, though.
Sorry.
Because you and I could sit here forever. Yeah. And I want to give permission on my end to any public access station in the world that finds this. Feel free to use this to try to recruit young, unsettled, not even necessarily young, the voices of people out there who are feeling agitated and like they have no place to go. Recruit them, find them. I hope this sends them your way. Go, sign up, get a show, make a podcast, learn how to edit, shoot a thing, say something crazy and put it on TV. See what happens. You could sign up tomorrow and you might have a show next month, beaming out to your whole town. Mm-hmm. It's cool. Go. Do it. Don't apologize. Say the things that need to be said. And do not let them make us feel like art, entertainment, and news are the enemy. Any organizations, any government that wants to make it that comedy and news are their enemies, they're trying to act tough, but they're actually running scared. We got to stand up to them.
Yep.
Caller, I screamed and shouted a lot.
If we can save...
Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, if we can save Jimmy Kimmel, then we can protect our public access TV station.
It was very strange to rally around Jimmy Kimmel, but I'm so glad it happened.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it happened.
Me too.
Caller, I want to get to know you more beyond public access and beyond me shouting while you get your hair dried. Are you willing to stay behind our paywall to answer a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Caller, I can't thank you enough. You allowed me to relive some very positive memories, to speak to a topic I'm super passionate about, most of all to feel inspired, to hear that you're out there doing the work, building an infrastructure to get so many people involved and so many people trusting a local news source. It's so cool. And I loved this conversation. Thank you so much. And thank you to our producer, Andrea Quinn. Even if we got in a fight behind the paywall at the end of the call, which you can hear if you sign up at beautifulanonymous.com. Thanks to Shellshag for our theme music. punchup.live/Gethard if you want tickets to my shows, including my upcoming shows at UCB in New York and up at the Vermont Comedy Club in Burlington. We got a voicemail line. It's 973-306-4676. We're on Instagram at Beautiful Anonymous Pod. Don't forget to join the Facebook group, Beautiful Anonymous, the community. Thanks, everybody. This week on Beautiful Anonymous Plus, here's some of what you'll get from the 5 questions. What irrational fears do you have?
Oh, I have an immediate answer. Hypnotism. And I can tell you why.
Wait, what? Yeah, tell me why.
One of the things I did was get really into Beatles conspiracies.
Beatles conspiracies?
Like Paul is dead. And they covered it up.
Yeah.
Yep. But the Helter Skelter one really got to me. And I don't even know the details of it anymore. The way I understand it, and I don't listen to this, I don't listen to anything that I think is hypnotizing me, but that if you played it backward, it like convinced someone to be a murderer. And I was always so afraid that music was going to like insert subliminal messages that would convince me to kill my parents. And
whoa. Don't forget to sign up for Beautiful Anonymous Plus at beautifulanonymous.com.